Hi guys, this will be a quick video, and this will be a different kind of video because it's really centered on the academic issue of whether it's better to train to failure or whether to use the greasing the groove method as advocated by Pavel Tsatsouline in his book Power to the People. And I find this to be an interesting question because I like a lot of what Pavel Tsatsouline advocates about doing sets of 5 repetitions or less for 2 exercises and taking long rest intervals in between to avoid muscle soreness and fatigue. Because after you take several minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, or even longer to recover, you can exercise while being fresh as possible. And this makes exercise much easier to do. And of course, if exercise is easier to do, it's more likely to be engaged in. So Pavel Tsatsouline advocates a volume approach to do mini sets, as many as 20 sets of 5 repetitions or less. And I believe that is the best way to develop a strength foundation. It teaches your central nervous system to improve the neural link between the brain and the muscle cells. So when you engage in a strength skill exercise like doing pull-ups or a bench press, that it's used to the movement pattern. But at the same time, there's a conflict between what Pavel Tsatsouline says and what Vladimir Zatsiorsky says in his book, Science and Practice of Strength Training. And Vladimir Zatsiorsky says there are 3 main methods of strength training. The maximal effort method, which is lifting as much weight as you possibly can, which is best to develop strength if strength is your goal. But there's also the repeated effort method, where the user will use a non-maximal weight, say 50 or 60% of 1 rep max, and lift that to failure. And that induces muscular hypertrophy, which is muscle growth and endurance. And Zatsiorsky says that in the muscles there are many motor units, or muscle cells, and that motor units that are not recruited are not trained, and muscle units that are not fatigued are not trained, and that to induce improvement, you have to challenge the body to recruit as many motor units as possible. But he admits that there's limitations to the repeated effort method because it's not the best method for strength development. If strength development is your goal, if you're trying to lift the most weight as possible, you should be doing the maximal effort method. But if your goal is general fitness, and to, if you're seeking endurance, and I put a high premium on endurance because I believe that life is about endurance, about enduring and persevering, continuing, despite whatever life throws at us. That the repeated effort method, which includes the sub-maximal effort method, which is doing non-maximal weights for what Zatsiorsky describes as intermediate repetitions, but I would classify as high repetitions because it's more than 10 reps. So it's an interesting academic issue as to what should specifically I should be training in. And remember, I'm preparing for the United States Marine Corps Pull-Up Challenge, where I have to do at least 25 repetitions. So my goal is muscular endurance. So that's for me. But this raises the issue of what's best for you. And that depends on your goals. if your goal is to lift as much weight as possible, then you should follow Zatsiorsky's maximal effort method. There was a famous bodybuilder by the name of Mike Menser who advocated the heavy duty or high intensity method of strength training to develop muscular size. And it raised a lot of controversy because he asserted that all you had to do is one or two maximum effort sets to develop muscular hypertrophy. And this raised a lot of controversy because a lot of bodybuilders are into volume training. They're into doing many sets with high repetitions. And bodybuilders aren't trying to lift as much weight as possible for 10 repetitions or 5 repetitions. Instead, what they're trying to do is, not in all cases, but in many cases, they'll use a weight they can handle easily, but use strict form, and they'll work on the concentric portion of the exercise. And concentric means where the muscle is shortening, and the eccentric portion where the muscle is lengthening. So if you're doing a curl, they would focus on strict form and doing it as strictly as possible. Not always, because they also do cheat curls, but in general. And then a lot of bodybuilders will work on the eccentric portions, which is lowering the weight, which is lengthening the muscle that was previously focused on. For the curl would be the biceps. So when you do the eccentric portion, what's lengthening is the bicep, and it's shortening on the upper part of the movement. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of disagreement as towards strength training methods, and there's more than one strength training method. Pavel Tsatsouline advocates the grease the groove method, which I believe has great merit if you're a beginner. It is the best way, in my belief, to develop a strength foundation if you're elderly or you're new to weight training, because it allows you to develop muscular size, strength, and endurance without muscle soreness and fatigue. But if you're trying to enter a pull-up contest and do 25 repetitions, I would say no, that is not the method you should be using. And I think there's a lot of merit to Zatsiorsky's maximal effort, repeated effort, and dynamic effort, which is lifting a non-maximal weight as quickly as possible. And Zatsiorsky doesn't favor one or the other. He says that an athlete should be doing all three methods. But like I said, I'm not entering into an athletic competition. I'm just doing a muscular endurance event. So I'm focused on the repeated effort method. And what I'm trying to say is that I think it is good to be exposed to different strength training methods, but also it's also good to question them as to whether it really best fits your goals, because every person is different. Every person has strengths and weaknesses and limitations. For instance, if you have a rotator cuff injury, your training routine has to be different from another person who doesn't have a rotator cuff injury, because you have to work around that injury. Or perhaps you have a bad back, and that fits into the equation. But I think it's good to explore the different strength training methods, and there's more than one. As I said, this is a different kind of YouTube video because it's really an academic discussion. And what caused it was I was reading Pavel Tsatsouline's book, Power to the People, in which he asserted that his strength training method was the best. And I think it's good to question, is it really the best? And as I said before, I believe there's a lot of merit to what Pavel advocates. But personally, I'm more of a Vladimir Zatsiorsky fan. as was the late Louis Simmons of Westside Barbell, who incorporated a lot of Zatsiorsky's maximal effort, repeated effort, and dynamic effort training methods into Simmons's conjugate strength training method, which not only included the Soviet training methods, but also the Bulgarian, as well as a lot of Louis Simmons' strength training ideas. Okay, what do you think? What do you think of Pavel's assertion about the greasing the groove method of using many sets of 5 repetitions or less of non-maximal weight as a way of strength training method? I find it intriguing, and perhaps that's just me, but I'm 67 years and 8 months old, and I have 3 college degrees, and I'm Japanese American, and I think a little different than most YouTube influencers do. But I think it's because we're so different that we have so much to share. And I'm definitely different. I'm not like most people. I don't think there's that many Japanese American former State of Ohio corrections officer with 3 college degrees, which includes a Juris Doctorate degree, talking about strength development and home gym equipment on YouTube. Okay, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, because I'll be creating a lot more YouTube videos, and by doing so you'll be notified when my new YouTube videos are posted. And once again, thanks for watching. And this is my buddy Jiha, my constant companion, who's with me more than my wife is. And she has a 7-year-old Beagle, half Pekingese and half Beagle. And she likes going to all of my 4 home gyms, which includes this garage gym, basement gym, extension room gym, and backyard patio gym. Say goodbye.